Live from the City of Angels here on this Sunday morning. It is a gross day here. It's been raining for the past 48 hours in LA. So I might go to the movies again today like I did last night. Why not? Because there's nothing else to do when it's crap weather in LA except discuss box office, breaking box office. It's a slow weekend. Guys, I mean, we're the middle of January, towards the end now. And these films are just not that appetizing to the average person. We had one wide release we'll discuss momentarily. And the film that won again this weekend was Mean Girls, a film that was supposed to go direct to streaming, as you know. And as such, listen, it was a good move by Paramount to put this in theaters. We're at $66 million, and that is globally. Okay, that's a really solid number for a very forgettable film. Number one in the States again this weekend, down about 60%, 59%. And so far, you're looking at 50 million plus domestic, and then the total global 66.3. So that worked out very well for Paramount. Also this weekend, we are looking at The Beekeeper holding at 49%. Minus 49 is a very strong number because when there's no other competition that opens, all the films are going to benefit because what else are you going to see? And you look at all of these holds. A Wonka, minus 24. Anyone But You, momentarily. That's our big topic here this morning. We'll talk about it in moments. 24% down. Migration, minus 15. All these numbers are super low on the drops because of the fact that we had such really unappetizing other options, including this ISS. This thing bombed at 3 million. What a boring movie. Go check out my reaction. I can't believe I didn't just record myself asleep for 1 minute solid and post it. That is all this film deserves. Bleecker Street with another depressing box office performance at just $3 million. But the big topic this morning is very much Anyone But You. This film just crossed 100 million globally. What? I would have never ever put money on this film getting to 100 million globally. Let's go to the email from Sony, and I'll go over the highlights, and then we're going to trash Netflix again because that's what we like to do, especially when they deserve it. This is a Netflix movie, and it's made $100 million at the global box office. When I say it's a Netflix movie, obviously it's Sony. You know what I'm saying? How many movies do they have like this that are on Netflix? Hey, here's a rom-com. Boom. This could easily have ended up as a Netflix film and no one would talk about it. And instead, Sony makes the film, has 100 million global box office, the highest grossing R-rated romantic comedy since 2016, which was Bridget Jones' Baby. Remember that? I barely remember that movie. The total gross, 100.2 million. Domestically, we're looking at 64, internationally 36, just opened in Germany. Number one there with 2.4 million. This is the number one film in Germany. Anyone But You. Mexico, 1.3 million just opened. Australia down just 19% in its fourth weekend. On and on and on. I mean, this still has France coming, Brazil, and Italy. So this film is going to keep going above $100 million. And Netflix, again, an opportunity to do something, do the right thing, and get your films in theaters. Why do you not want the money? I understand it costs cash, right, to market a film. It didn't cost $100 million for them to promote this film. So you're telling me, Netflix, when you have a film, and I know it's Apple, let's use Ghosted for that. Pick any, I don't watch Netflix movies, but any crap rom-com from Netflix. But go back to Ghosted, right? So Apple could have put that in theaters. You don't think that could get at least 50 million? This film, for whatever reason, has captured the zeitgeist. I mean, it's a TikTok thing. Sweeney's certainly a talker. People are discussing Glenn Powell. The two of them have heat. And together, they have this film that has $100 million at the box office, and proof again that Netflix, the dumbest ass studio in the history of this town, they cannot figure out, will not, they're obstinate at this point. They know what I've been saying for over a year, maybe 2 years now, possibly longer, that you got to get theatrical. They're not they're at the point now they're like, we're not going to do it just because then we'll give Weber the satisfaction and don't tell. They know. Trust me. I have plenty of people getting back to me in my DM saying Netflix does not like any time that you savage them. Too bad. They deserve it. Sony showing the way. You've got to put your movies in theaters. Theatrical's back when a movie like Anyone But You makes $100 million globally, a rom-com, then you know that we're in a good spot. Don't look at the numbers this weekend and go, oh, I'm depressed. It's end of January. Football's on. Playoffs are on. Super Bowl's coming. This is a dead time of the year, and the fact that we still have films performing tells you that as we ramp up and get into the films, starting with Dune, later Deadpool, Joker 2, later this year, all of the product that's coming. It might not be as much as we got last year, but in a way that's better. It benefits when we don't have 7 huge movies in the multiplex at one time like we saw last summer when you had Barbie, Mission Impossible, Indiana Jones was still kicking around, Oppenheimer. What'd you have in there? Transformers was still going, Spider-Verse. You had all of these films. It's too much. And if you space them out better, you're going to get stronger result for each of them. As we know, Mission Impossible really suffered from that on the heels. Right before Barbie and Oppenheimer, it had like 10 days to operate, and then it was just destroyed by those 2 films. Paramount absolutely jacked that release date up. Let's go top 10 box office here on the Sunday morning, and then we'll be back here tonight talking about the Oscars. Oscars have their nominations released on Tuesday morning. I'm going to go through my final picks. It'll be a little everything this week, but it's time to really drill down on that. I've seen all the films now. I'm ready to go tonight. The big Oscar forecast. What's in, what's out. Top 10. Number 1, Mean Girls at 11.7. Beekeeper 2, 8.5. Wonka, 6.4 in third. Anyone But You, again, $64 million stateside, $100 million overseas. Well, $100 million total globally. What a sensation. And again, big beneficiary of that Christmas corridor cash. It kept banking money throughout that week and a half, 2 weeks, plus into January because of the lack of compelling new product. Migration is just about ready to hit 200 million worldwide, almost at 100 million here, and then 100 million overseas, 200 million. We'll get another one. Even if it's not Mario a billion, you can make another migration on a 200 million plus worldwide box office. Aquaman is up to 114 stateside. The film did as best as it could when you look at the release date over Christmas corridor. Warner Brothers got it out there, got as much money as possible. ISS Bomb, $3 million, only $1,200 per screen. That's terrible. Night Swim, less than 1,000 per screen at this point, 2.7 million. It's got 23.7 banked in the States. Boys in the Boat, shockingly, at 43.8 million. Would you have ever in a million years thought that we'd be talking about Boys in the Boat at 43, call it $44 million? No. Christmas Corridor, brilliant. Counter programming, brilliant. Beneficiary of not having anything good in theaters, anything new, brilliant. All that worked out for MGM, Amazon. And then Poor Things is at $2 million, only $1,400 per. It's now at $20 million stateside. It's never going to see the favorite cash. The favorite is definitely going to top that film. 20 million's fine, though. They're not going to be completely miserable with that number, but they would expect more. Someone told me he's going to get to 55 million domestic. I go, wow, really? Where's the other 35 coming from at this point? It's not happening. I'll be back here tonight on MMT as we get ready to discuss the Oscars and we go through virtually all the categories, at least the ones that matter. I don't think I'm going to talk about makeup and hair as much as I know you want me to talk about makeup and hair. We might gloss over it, but I think we're going to stick to the key categories, my insight, all that coming up tonight, plus whatever you want to discuss later this evening, 8:30 here in LA, 11:30 in the city of New York City or wherever you are across the world. I will see you tonight on MMT. Until then, peace out. Enjoy.